What is up, guys? Welcome to the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast, March 14th edition. We're tracking our way through the year very quickly already. It's nearly WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Jesus. If you are new here, please like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, or head over and follow us on Twitter as well, at SEW_podcast, where we break all different news and talk about the shows as they're generally live on air. All our socials are down below. So this week has been a weird one. It started off
with not so much of a big bang.
Yeah. It started off with Revolution, which was a very good show, but
Disappointing finale.
Yeah.
You just don't want to go to Tony Khan's 4th of July or New Year's, because if that's the money he puts in for a fireworks display.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? And do you know, I feel so sorry for Kenny and John, and especially Eddie Kingston in that thing. But yeah, it was a really good show. But Bubba Ray Dudley said it on his podcast this week. He said that Vince McMahon's always had a philosophy that the only thing fans remember is the last 2 minutes of the show. So in weeks and months in the future, that's all they'll remember is those 2 minutes. And it's kind of true, isn't it? Like that's all people have been talking about, was the stupid explosion, or lack thereof. And then Tony Khan,
what the sparklers on the turnbuckles.
Yeah. And then Tony Khan's half-assed explanation for it about, Kenny Omega built it and it was really poor, but it didn't explain Eddie Kingston's reacting like he died. Eddie Kingston done a good job of trying to explain that away on AEW, to be fair, which we'll get to, but which I was happy with that, but it's like, I don't know, it was just so underwhelming, weren't it? What do you think of Revolution as a whole, though?
Overall, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed all of it.
Yeah,
I can't. So,
obviously, there was another thing which happened on the show, which received a lot of praise and criticism. It sort of split the audience. Big Show said that they were signing a Hall of Fame level talent, and people were speculating all throughout the week, as we did last week, as to whether it was going to be Kurt Angle or whoever. And it was Christian. Christian Cage is in AEW.
I got admit, I have liked how they've worked Christian right now. He's one of the best talkers in the business, and he hasn't uttered a single man. Hasn't had a chance to say a single word yet.
Yeah. He was very. I'm very happy with the fact that they pushed him into that main event picture like immediately, made him seem like a big star. Obviously, lots of people weren't so high on it. There were people like Mr. Dave Meltzer, who said that it's not really a Hall of Fame level talent, is it? That sort of thing.
Well, it is.
Yeah, and it's not.
Also, what I love though is I'm pretty sure he's got his music from when he was in TNA.
Yeah, apparently it's like a work on that. Yeah, I heard him say something. It's not the same one, but it is.
I'm pretty sure the bass similar. There is some extra added bits into it, but the actual bass similar part of it, I'm like that. I swear I remember that being his TNA music, part of his TNA music.
Yeah, I heard Christian talk about it this week, and I heard him say something along those lines, and it was sort of a reworking of that, which I quite like. But yeah, I don't think it's Christian's fault that everyone spent a week building it up as though it was going to be Brock, Like, people worked themselves into a shoot way too quickly there, because they were thinking, God damn it, I heard people like, well, John Cena's out of contract now.
Yeah, John Cena's WWE through and through.
Yeah, like, come on. And like, people were obviously saying Punk would have been a good one, but it's like, I think we've passed that point now with Punk.
Well, Punk's, I think, still potentially will, but as he's always saying, if the story's right.
Yeah, like he said, with AEW, the story would have to be right, and with WWE, the money would have to be right.
So, but then there's people saying about Dave Bautista, and I generally think now that he's happy with where he ended it.
Yeah,
almost. He did. I think it's a little bit embarrassing falling over into the ring, but
yeah. And Batista's the thing, right? Like, 'cause he tweeted out this week saying people have retired in wrestling so often where they come back that the word sort of become meaningless. And he's sort of saying, no, when I say retired, I mean I'm retired. I'm not Ric Flair retired.
He's happy making plenty of money being an actor, and he's doing a good job.
He's doing a very good job. I mean, he's been in one of the most successful, the most successful movie franchises ever, being in Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers films. I mean, he's doing well. You know, he doesn't need friggin' wrestling. Come on. But yeah, no, I enjoyed Takeover. I thought Revolution. It's because I can see on my screen. I can see the Takeover image. No, I enjoyed Revolution. I thought it was a good show.
Yeah, overall I enjoyed all of it.
Yeah. So I wasn't a big fan of the brass ring thing. I thought that just looked a bit goofy.
It was quite amusing.
Yeah, it was fun, but yeah, I just found it a bit stupid. Obviously that was for those who don't know, that was a direct piss take of Vince McMahon, right? Where Vince McMahon had said about young wrestlers need to grasp the brass ring, and when he was asked by Stone Cold and Austin said about Cesaro, and he said, well, Cesaro's just not grasping that brass ring. You know, it was obviously a dig at that, but I just didn't really see the point in it. But there we go.
Got to admit though, they did do one match very, very well, and they don't do cinematic matches very often, apart from the overuse of potentially lighting. That's the only real thing I have to say negative about these matches. Some of their lighting was a bit too much because the camera come along and you start not being able to see what the hell's going on a little bit.
Yeah, I thought the Sting Darby Allin match was brilliant. The perfect use of Sting, right?
Yeah. The only disappointing thing is, once again, though, Team Taz really did need the win.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember who I was listening to who said. Well, you said it last week, but like I was listening to someone this week who said they literally they've had their ass kicked for like what 3 weeks now in a row, 4 weeks in a row, whatever it was. So it was like if they let them be built up on the lead into the match, it would make more sense. But the fact that we saw Sting and Darby Allin kick the shit out of them for several weeks beforehand, but I enjoyed it. I thought Darby Allin is just a crazed human, right? Like the amount of dives and stuff.
Yeah, he's the one where you've kind of got to use now, because later or a few years down the line he's not going to be able to move.
He's going to be very, very broken. He's going to be a very broken individual.
So,
but yeah, no.
Which is a shame when it comes to that guy, because he's quite good and you could base a company around him, but you just know in several years' time he's not going to be moving.
Yeah. I mean, he's been one of my favourites in the company since I think the very first time I saw him. Actually, no, I saw him in one other promotion before, and I can't think what. But yeah, I'm with Gabe Sapolsky. But I remember him thinking, hell, he's like the next Jeff Hardy, right? Like he's like that sort of character.
So yeah, let's be honest, what he also does outside of the ring's just insane.
He's a mental person. But yeah, no, it was good. And news-wise this week, I'm going to start with a bit of an odd one. So we all know the name Mark Carrano. He was the head of talent relations for WWE for many years. He was in you'd see him in Total Divas and all that all the time, talking to the talent. Well, he's gone, and he's been replaced again with John Laurinaitis, who is back in WWE as head of talent relations.
Didn't realise John Laurinaitis left.
He got, because obviously Jim Ross was head of talent relations for a very, very long time, like way over a decade, and he got replaced by John Laurinaitis. And then John Laurinaitis stepped down many years ago and got replaced by Mark Carrano. But Johnny Ace is back, and all accounts are that the talent are very much not happy with it, because Johnny Ace doesn't like women wrestlers at all, really. He was the guy who pushed the Divas thing, and all they had to have was a big pair of breasts and blonde hair. That's all he ever cared about, you know. Like Jim Ross has said it a million times, that all he wanted was what Vince McMahon called tens. You know, he didn't care about talent; they just had to be tens. You know, so there's lots of talent which aren't very, very excited about Johnny Ace returning to that role. He was not said to be very well respected. I'll say that, but there we are. Also this week we had the WrestleMania announcements and things have all sort of been dripping out throughout the week of.
Can someone please explain to me though why I need 2 shows of WrestleMania, or I need 2 NXT TakeOver.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed that last year, splitting WrestleMania into 2 shows. I thought it made it so much more palatable and nicer. I don't need 2 NXT shows.
Well, I don't need that, but also this year I don't feel, especially now that you've got because the reason why they did that was so people wouldn't get sort of too bored. But you're going to have 45,000 fans there.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Tickets go on sale on Tuesday.
What? So why do I need 2 shows?
See,
there's going to be an atmosphere there.
See, I'm very much in favour of the 2 shows. I know you weren't really last year, but I'm very much in favour of it.
No, but I understood why they did it last year. They didn't have an audience, they didn't have an atmosphere, but they have it this year. I don't understand why they need to overkill it.
Right, look at us when we sat,
especially when
we sat at WrestleMania.
They can't even book 1 show right now.
Yeah, it's true, but you look at us when we went to WrestleMania 35. You know, freezing cold out in Jersey in spring, and the crowd sort of just died a death by the time it got to, you know, the main event, which is a great match. But Rondo.
That was because we were all too busy chanting about moving their fucking lights.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's like they make these shows longer. I mean, the real answer to it is something that JR has been talking about quite recently on his podcast, where he said, not everyone deserves a shot at WrestleMania. He said, for some reason over the last few years, it's become a thing that we've got to get everyone on the card. He's like, you earn it, it's not owed to you. But for some reason, WWE's changed its mentality and now just thinks that everyone deserves to be on the card, which I think is actually quite true. And because of that, we've now got freaking 7-hour WrestleManias. So, like, in reality, they could just cut back the number of matches. Yeah, and they also announced there's going to be a 2021 Hall of Fame class as well as the 2020 Hall of Fame class.
So is one being done on a Tuesday, the other one being done on a Friday?
Yeah, see, I don't know, right? Have they announced that we got 2 days of Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
I actually really don't. I know the Hall of Fame is happening on a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
But they need to put something in on the Friday at the moment, between 2 WrestleManias and 2
That's true.
NXT shows.
They got SmackDown. They got SmackDown on the Friday.
Okay.
So yeah, they have every day is covered. Yes, the Hall of Fame. So obviously in the 2020 class, which was supposed to go in last year and didn't, you had Batista, the NWO, JBL, Jushin Thunder Liger. I'm missing people, but there was a full class, and now they've got 2021. Molly Holly is the first one announced, who's a great addition. Everyone's basically talking about how she's the most loved human ever to step foot in wrestling.
Well, I love the fact that when news got broke to her, Greg Helm cried.
Yeah.
Telling her.
Yeah, because by all accounts, she seems to be like one of the most loved people. She introduced like all these women, Beth Phoenix and other people, to the business. You know, so yeah, she seems very, very well loved. But yeah, I mean, I just think, God, the Hall of Fame ceremony is so damn long as it is.
So they're going to be doing 15-minute speeches, yeah?
I mean, I hope so, right? I hope we don't have Mr. T or Hillbilly Jim, you know, those sort of 45-minute long speeches where they thank their mama 27,000 times.
And it probably means you're going to have Hulk Hogan doing a speech, and well, we've seen how that goes before.
Oh shit, yeah, we are, because the NWO. God damn, I just want to... Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing is Scott Hall kept his one very, very brief when he got inducted, so...
Does that mean, though, that 6 is going to get put in with NWO?
No, I don't think he was, right? I think they limited it to just them 3. What did they? Or did they include X-Pac?
I can't remember.
No, neither can I. Maybe he is.
Because it'll be quite amusing that he'll be a 2-time Hall of Famer then, but yet he's never personally been put in the Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna look, because that's a good point. Because I think I remember when it was announced that he wasn't in there, but then there was some pushback. Yeah, oh no, he is. Yeah, he's going in with them.
Yeah, I think originally they started off that way, but I think then other people were like, seriously, he was a big member.
Yeah, I remember
the original.
Yeah, I remember there being like lots of discussion around it when it first went up, because they were like, hey, are you going to have 18 limos of NWO members turning up? Because seeing as by the end of it, freaking everyone. And to me, I find it a bit weird that Eric Bischoff isn't part of it.
Well, no, for me, you need to put in like the original people that sort of started off, which is those 3, 6, and Eric Bischoff. And potentially Randy Savage could
Yeah, see, the thing is, it gets a bit weird, doesn't it? Because then you have like people like Virgil and DiBiase and all them people who were part of it.
Problem is, I don't quite classify them too much at the start point, but Randy Savage is sort of in that in-between start bit.
Yeah, but
We,
I do find it very weird that Bischoff's not being thrown in there with him, because I mean, he was the de facto like head of the NWO for a long time, or the mouthpiece of the NWO at least, for many years. But
that's because Hulk Hogan's always needed a mouthpiece.
that's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, also this week, Andrade Cien Almas asked for his release from the WWE. He hasn't really been used since Paul Heyman was taken out of power. You know, because as we know, we discussed on the show back then, all those months ago, that Paul Heyman was very, very high on.
What does Charlotte do to upset her men?
I know. Yeah, Paul Heyman was very high on like Andrade, Angel Garza, all of that, like Austin Theory.
I had Austin Theory on the main roster.
Yeah, like Paul Heyman was high on all them guys, and then since he's gone, all of them have pretty much just gone into nothingness. Ricochet, Aleister Black, you know, lots of them just disappeared into nothingness, which is a shame. But he requested his release, and it was denied. So, you know, he ain't going anywhere. Basically, I think that's. I hate when WWE does that shit. You know, where
but can WWE afford any more of their guys to go over to AEW?
If you're not using them, it's like, God damn it, just let them go. They're not your employees. They aren't your employees at the end of the day. They are independent contractors, and they should be free to freaking well leave whenever they want. But there we are. That's another discussion. I don't know. I hate them doing it like what they did with Pac, you know, where they just sat him at home for ages and ages. It's just so stupid. It's just so selfish. But the shows this week. I think we had a very clear winner on Wednesday being the night of the week.
It was the best night of the week for wrestling.
Yeah.
I feel NXT may have just taken it show-wise for some of the stuff they had going on, because it was ending certain stories and getting certain things set up ready for there. Yeah,
I think AEW had probably the biggest impact show of like a single angle.
Yes.
But yeah, I think for as a whole show goes, NXT had a much better all-round show. But yeah, AEW definitely had incredible like closing angle.
Because unfortunately, AEW also had to try and do damage control as well. So
yeah, we'll get to that. So Raw was once again a bitter disappointment. And this is I say this because I was very, very complimentary of Raw last week, was I not? I genuinely loved it. I thought the pacing was great. I loved the tease of Bobby and Miz last week, and then they just tried to freaking repeat themselves.
I don't understand though why the WWE Championship was the first match.
They just clearly didn't book a show, right? Because they just.
And then I don't understand why why they had to throw it in my face that I'm not getting this at WrestleMania. And have the following week Sheamus beat Drew, and at the end of the day, they both knocked each other out? Or...
Yeah. We spoke about this last week, that we were quite critical of the fact that they built quite a decent story with Drew and Sheamus. And
thing is though, everyone shut on them doing that.
Yeah, everyone. And then they just threw it on a Raw out of nowhere, and they had a great match. Once again, not a criticism of the guys, because once again this week, same as last week, they had a killer match. They tore the living crap out of each other. But as you said for a couple of months now, it was a Mania match. It wasn't. It should not have been a throwaway Raw match.
They also proved it was a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's probably going to lead to them having the match at Fastlane.
Yeah, which is just underwhelming. Because look, we know now that it pretty much is a dead cert that it's Drew and Bobby at Mania, right? So
yeah,
they obviously want to get. This is obviously just a filler for Drew, which I think is a shame, and I think it's a shame for Sheamus as well, because where will Sheamus go after this? You know, they'll just lose him in the shuffle again, which is a shame. Yeah, I don't know. They just didn't seem to write a damn show this week. We had some weird.
Well, I think the problem they're having at the moment is Vince McMahon doesn't know how he wants to do WrestleMania right now, and now he's got another 2 shows to book for WrestleMania. Yeah, he can't even book one of them.
Yeah, he still hasn't booked Mania, which is insane when we're 4 weeks away 5 weeks away from it now? 4 weeks away.
So how the fuck can you properly book a TV show if you don't fully understand your end game?
We've heard from Vince Russo, Bruce Pritchard, Jim Cornette, all the guys who were like around during the Attitude Era in the 80s and stuff, that he would have his Mania card long before the Royal Rumble even started. Before they booked the Rumble, WrestleMania was booked. They knew the card, subject to injuries, whatever, but they knew the card. Now, 4 weeks out, he doesn't know, and we'll get the same thing as what we probably got last year, the year before that, and random matches thrown in on the night, which is crazy for a WrestleMania. But yeah, you're right. It's like they book month to month now, which is stupid. And then they've got freaking Fastlane to think about, which no one cares about. There's going to be some cool matches on it. We'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown, but
let's be honest, there isn't an awful lot right now booked for Fastlane.
No, and that's the weird thing, isn't it? We got 2 matches booked for Mania? I think 2, just Edge and Bianca's match.
Well, right now, no one actually knows who Edge is going to be fighting.
Right, yeah, but yeah.
Even though I got a strong feeling that's going to turn into a triple threat match.
So do I, and we'll go into that on SmackDown.
Which I don't want.
So yeah, I mean, there was nothing else on Raw really. You had Shane and Braun do something stupid. We're getting that match at Mania. Yeah. I don't know why, but there we are. We're getting that match at Mania. Other than that,
you'll probably find that's going to happen at Fastlane.
Oh yeah, it may do. Yeah, it may do. But yeah, normally they try and keep Shane McMahon matches for bigger shows, don't they now? But yeah, I didn't like the no contest thing with Drew and Sheamus really all that much, because we called it last week that they're probably going to be a best of 3, and I would like see this would be a perfect setup to do like a 3 stages of Hell match. We haven't seen one in years, to have that sort of thing at Mania. But I don't know. And then we had something else again with Alexa and Randy, which they're just dragging out to the bitter end.
Well, yeah, the problem is I feel they're sort of at this moment sort of stuck on a bit more repeat, where let's just have them puke up some black shit and it all works.
Yeah, because they're clearly...
No offence, Alexa Bliss can do 10 times better role thing and acting than what they've been doing with her.
Yeah, without doubt. Yeah. And
it's getting to the point where you just, if you're going to, you just need to bring the thing back.
Yeah, and they're obviously waiting. I'm going to assume the Fiend maybe appears at Payback, whatever Randy Orton does at Payback. Fastlane, sorry. I'm assuming that Randy Orton's going to have some kind of match at Fastlane, and that the Fiend's going to appear there. I don't know, because they're obviously waiting for that to be a big Mania match, and I'm going to assume.
You know that's going to be some fucking insane, weird fucking cinema style
that's
match.
what I was going to say. It's either going to be cinematic or it's going to be a ridiculous gimmick match, right? Like,
what's the bet that they'll do some stupid cinema style thing at WrestleMania, and that's how the Fiend returns back?
Maybe so. And this is going to be really interesting, right? Because if they do cinematic match, that's going to be the first time a cinematic match has been done in front of a live audience. So that can die a big death very quickly, and it can kill the audience pretty quickly. So that'll be a pretty risky move. But also, I'm pretty sure those fans are just going to be hyped to be there anyway, because, be the first.
That's when everyone goes to the toilet and have a drink.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So other than that, Raw was pretty dead. NXT, we had 2 big announcements.
Yeah, literally, as soon as he announced the 2 NXT
takeover
shows, I suddenly realised what was going to happen in that main event, and I was right.
Yeah. So
I knew.
So firstly, for anyone that hasn't seen it, April 7th, April 8th, NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver is going to be on the WWE Network on one night and Peacock on the other night. Sorry, on the USA Network one night, Peacock the other night. But yeah. You're right. Once the 2 shows were announced, it was like, okay, we know where.
So Kyle was going to suddenly show up, and then you knew Killian Cross was going to appear.
Yeah.
Because one's got a main event one night, one's got a main event the other night.
Yeah, exactly. So, I wonder.
And then I managed to call what was going to happen next.
You did. So William Regal,
the tag team belts, but then also when who came out to say, we'll face you, I suddenly realised what was going to happen next then.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden I was like, she's not going to be able to go for the women's NXT championship while she's got these belts. So they automatically got to lose it.
Yeah, so the women's tag team, NXT women's tag team championship were announced by William Regal. I mean, it's good. It's about time the women, because they've got we've said this last week, they've got a ridiculous roster.
They've had, and that's not even all the women they've got as well that were up there as well. So.
We said this exact thing last week. The women's division on NXT is insanely deep and insanely talented, and they've all got one belt. You know, they deserve something else, and yeah, this is perfect.
So
normally,
and I think I messaged you saying those belts they look fucking great.
Yeah, they are. They're up on the screen right now. For anyone that hasn't seen it, I quite like this new NXT title style they're going with their belts at the moment. It's quite cool. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the show. I thought the main event delivered very well. We knew what was going to happen, as you said. We knew there was going to be sort of like a fuck finish in some way, that it wasn't going to be a clean win either way. There was going to be some sort of dodginess going in there. But yeah, I thought it was great. You had what's it called? I can never remember her name. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai took on Ember Moon and Shotzi, and I loved this match. I gotta say.
Yeah, but I kind of realised for that bit that's happening was they've given them the belts to say, well, one that Raquel's is held the first ever NXT. But I knew she technically, if they wanted her to face the women's champion at their pay-per-view, then she's losing those belts. And Blackheart and they're good people for it, and will do a good thing for the tag team division.
Yeah, I was very, very surprised that, though. To be fair, I mean, I get what you said, but I was very surprised that they gave them the belts and took them. Like, so quickly.
I kind of had a fit because I was like, if you plan on her being in your main event going for that women's championship, she can't have the tag team title.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I just thought they would like at least let it play out a week or so. I thought, oh, okay, fair enough. They give up and they take it away. But yeah, no, I did enjoy that. They also Jordan Devlin is back on our screens.
Yeah, he's back. Was it next week?
Next week. Yeah, he's in quarantine at the moment. Yeah, so this is something which I said weeks and weeks ago, that they were clearly planning to do a cruiserweight thing because he was doing it over on NXT UK. The problem being, no fucker on planet Earth watches NXT UK, so no one even realised he was doing the damn angle over there. So, you know, it seems to the rest of the world that it sort of just came out of nowhere. But apparently, he's actually been doing an angle on NXT UK, which relates to NXT.
I'm pretty sure there's many wrestlers try to do angles on NXT UK, but not many people really watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, shockingly though, I've got to say, Toni Storm robbed again.
She's always robbed. But yeah, we at the end of the show, obviously Kyle O'Reilly returned, and then Karrion Kross returned.
Yeah, but I got me Finn Balor played that like a champ. What took you so? I just loved it. What took you so long? I'm just like, you are the fucking man, Finn. Yeah, I don't care what anyone says.
That was very good. Do you know what? I think moving to NXT may be the best thing which happened to Finn. Like, genuinely, like it
gave him a chance to go get married, didn't it?
That too, yeah, that too. Yeah, no, I think it's genuinely the best thing that's happened to him. I like that. I thought it was good. I thought it was a nice, impactful ending, and it clearly sets up TakeOver. It's very clear. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be able to predict what's coming on the card, you know. And NXT does a very good job in setting it up, and without telling you, but basically telling you this is what we're going for. Well,
let's be honest. For both of those two main events, it's going to be great because Kyle and Cole, well, that's going to be an insane match. They're both fucking. And let's be honest, Finn Balor doesn't do bad matches.
No. Even Finn Balor on his worst night is still better than most wrestlers on a good night, you know.
So, and when you got people like the Brock Lesnar's and Randy Orton's that always want to work with him, you know something's fucking good.
Yeah, I'm completely off topic, but that is still one of my biggest pet hates that they did with Finn and Brock we've seen so many great matches with Brock and the smaller guys, and then they just screwed Finn when he got his shot at Brock. That pisses me off to this day.
Well, when Brock finally got what he wanted and finally got his match with Finn.
Yeah, and they just...
You think Undertaker still kicks himself a little bit, actually, that he always wanted the match with Finn and never got it.
He wanted matches.
Because it would probably be the match that he probably would have been proud of, and he probably would have retired earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a few times that could have happened, right? If Vince had given him the damn match he wanted, and anyway.
Well, originally with John Cena, yeah.
Yeah, but given with John Cena, with who else did he ask to break the streak? I can't remember who he asked. Oh, Kurt Angle. He was. They were going for Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's podcast this week. They were talking about it. When were they wrestling? I think it was like the lead up to WrestleMania 22 or something. They'd gone to Vince and pitched it, and Vince was like, "Nope, not happening." So they wrestled at like a Royal Rumble or something earlier on, because he was like, "You're absolutely not breaking the streak." But so it's funny how many times Taker's gone to people and said, "Hey, I'd like Roman Reigns to beat the streak." No. Hey, I'd like John Cena. No. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I like the one who was originally supposed to break the streak, which was Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But it was Randy Orton was like, "I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking a streak."
I'm not having that sort of thing. Yeah, and so Dynamite. I've got to say, I did like the show very much.
Dynamite actually was quite good. As I say, they had to do a lot of explaining from a botched finish.
Yeah, so after the lackluster ending to Revolution, we had a very good sit-down promo from Moxley and Eddie Kingston. A promo that
I feel like you're jumping the gun there, because you had an epic match.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm addressing that bit first. We had a great promo from them too, a promo which they shouldn't have had to deliver ever, because I don't know. I think everyone just looked bad. They should have just taken the L, taken the loss, and just moved on with it and said, "Look, okay, well, we fucked up. Let's move on." Tony Khan's defense of it was like, "Well, what did you expect us to do? Explode the ring with the guys in it?" Well, yeah, that's what you said you were going to do.
I would have been happy with some more actual decent pyro going off around the outside and some effects. Not some fucking sparklers going off on the turnbuckle.
All they had to do was make it such a clusterfuck on the outside that the camera can't actually even see what's happening in the ring.
It's not even that. You do what WWE have done. You start doing the pyro shit shooting off like that, and then you just have the ring just implode. Like WWE's done.
I think Jim Cornette actually said the exact same thing as you there, was they could have just had...
Don't put me in the same category.
They could have had the ring buckle down. We've seen it a dozen times. The ring should have buckled down. The fireworks stuff. It would have detracted away from the, as you said, the sparklers on the ring posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. Don't put the pyro. Don't put the pyro actually attached. Just sell it off for extra pyro around the outside of the ring. Just blow shit up.
Or you know what? Pre-shoot it. Pre-film it. At the end of the day, pre-film the damn thing. The last exploding ring match, the whole freaking ring blew up into about 1 million pieces because they pre-filmed it like a Hollywood movie. But whatever. Yeah, we had Matt Jackson and Ray Phoenix, which brilliant match.
That was fucking insane.
To be fair, every time the Bucks and Phoenix and Pentagon are in the ring, they always kill it. So singles match was great.
So what you're going to say is Pac's going to be the one that lets down the match?
No. I don't think Pac has bad matches here either.
Because one, I also didn't realise though that Pentagon does the Mexican announce name.
No, I didn't. I don't know if that's a new addition or what.
I'm also confused. I thought it would have been Pac that would have been the more one breaking out more singly out of all three of them.
We had obviously Christian Cage make his Dynamite debut as well. Tony Schiavone introducing him. Kenny Omega came out, and we had a nice little stare down between them two. And Christian Cage holding up the belt.
Well, I feel you've kind of missed out on a few bits how that all kind of happened, because Christian never came out straight away, really, did he?
No, we had Kenny Omega shouting about 69ing Don Callis in the middle of the ring.
So, and then you had John Moxley and Eddie Kingston come out.
And drive them off. But yeah, I think.
But I feel what we haven't brought up though is a very key thing of Adam Page. and he's riding his lawnmower, and 5 being left behind with no ice cream.
So ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. That's fun.
But this is why he's a fucking superstar, though.
Yeah, no, that was fun. But yeah, I mean, one of the big moments of night being the fact that they're putting Christian Cage immediately into that main event picture, something which WWE was never gonna do, is quite something, you know.
Well, what? Let's be honest. I think any other fucking companies like Impact did it.
Yeah.
They gave him the title.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Maki Ito made her debut at Revolution as well. Made her proper debut at Revolution. I like the gimmick. I think it's really fun. I think she's incredibly mental. I think she's so fun. She can genuinely be a huge star for them because
I fucking love the fact that she's just sitting there singing and all hell breaking.
She's just so mental. I love it so much. I think it's brilliant.
Oh.
I'll say this. There was. It wasn't quite so bad at Dynamite, but at Revolution it was awful. And this is something which I've criticised AEW for endlessly. They cannot get their goddamn audio levels right. So when she came out,
they having issues with the audio on that AEW show, and people were tweeting that all out.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't quite as bad on Dynamite as it was on Revolution. On Revolution, it was really bad. It was still bad on Dynamite, but I'm sorry, you're over a year old now. You should have, especially when you've not been traveling and you're in a static location. God, that you would never have, WWE, and you'd never have someone coming out to the ring and not being able to hear them over their entrance music and stuff. So when Maki Ito made her debut and she was singing and you couldn't goddamn hear her, it's just a disservice to her when she's so freaking great that you couldn't hear her. But yeah, I've heard lots of people, you're right, lots of people on Twitter, I've heard Eric Bischoff complain about it this week on 83 Weeks about just that production level thing. They still just don't get the production elements as well.
So, but no, that was great for that opening part. Where everyone's just breaking issues, she just carried on sitting there.
So funny. She can be a huge star. Do you remember when Bayley was like first starting out with tube men and all that, and everyone, I remember Russo saying it, I remember Bischoff, I remember loads of people saying it, she was the female John Cena, right? They were this close to creating their next John Cena in Bayley. They shit the bed on it massively when they moved her up onto the main roster.
And then Becky came along and did that man gimmick, and then
then we had Becky take on the mantle. But all I kept thinking with Maki Ito is like, she reminds me of that lovable Bayley character, just how over she could get with just you just can't not like her. She's just so ridiculously likable.
Which makes it sucks that she's being a heel character right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We had Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky, which was a good match, and
that was fucking
very good match. And I'm glad we're getting Darby Allin defending the damn title again, and not running around as a tag team with Sting. But I do wonder where we're going to go with Sting properly now. Don't know if he's.
I thought Sting was eventually going to be going after the
yeah.
TNT title.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do with him if they're going to let him sit at home for a little bit. Probably needs 6 months off after that. But yeah, it was good. But obviously the thing which everyone was talking about from the night was the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle have split.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara is back, and MJF revealed that he's created his own group with Tully and FTR and Sean Spears, and Wardlow, and they beat the living crap out of Inner Circle. I don't know how Sammy Guevara ended up in this place he was in that chair, but there we go. He was like plastered in a chair.
He got thrown head first into it, didn't he?
But I sort of blinked, and the next thing I knew, his mouth was embedded in a chair, and I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, Chris Jericho took a beating. I loved that. I thought it was brilliant. I think it's great, like long-term storytelling that they've been slowly building those guys all together. Tully Block.
You think that's because they're getting ready to? They need to because they want to do their. Oh God, I'll get my words out in a minute. They're getting ready to do their own version of the War Game match that they planned to do like a year ago.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, probably. What were they calling it? That blood and guts.
I can't remember.
I think it was called Blood and Guts.
Because there was no fans, they decided they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, which is probably the right call. I'm sure it's called Blood and Guts at the time. Yeah. AEW Blood and Guts. Yeah, so they probably are planning. That's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that. That would make sense.
Also, talking about events, why have they suddenly moved their flagship pay-per-view event to May when it's supposed to be held at normally end of August?
Have they? Oh yeah, they have. Yeah.
Yeah, they have something for May, and I was like, what?
I don't know.
The last two you've done is the end of August. I know this because it's normally around my birthday.
I don't know. To be honest, I really don't. I haven't got an answer to it. I know. That's very quite. That's quite. Where are we? March, April, May. It's quite close for them, isn't it? 2 months for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's also suddenly you're moving that from 3 months early from where it normally been held.
I have no reason why. I'm trying to see if there is, if they've got one, but no, Double or Nothing. And the thing is, normally they've been running they normally run Double or Nothing, on. Oh, no, it ran last year, May 23rd. Yeah.
I always thought it was being held at the end of August. What's the one they do at the end of August then?
I can never remember what their pay-per-views are called. All Out. That's the September August one. Yeah, no, Double or Nothing is because Double or Nothing they usually run. It's like a holiday weekend in America, so they run it in Vegas normally, but obviously they're not going to be running Vegas. Also, we have another special show for AEW coming up this Wednesday. It's called St. Patrick's Day Bash or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, but at least they're actually still technically calling it AEW Dynamite.
It is a Dynamite, yeah.
And aren't the women actually in the main event?
Are they?
I swear I saw one card, and I swear it's supposed to be like Britt Baker and Thunder Rose or something like that.
Cool. That's cool. Something different for a change.
I swear I saw something tweeted out by some of the girls about getting a chance to be in the main event.
That's a good game.
I might be mistaken, but it was stuff I was seeing from some of them tweeting out.
Yeah, that's good. I hadn't really seen, but no, that's cool. And Smackdown. I mean, it just kind of happened.
It's a bit.
I think that the start.
It was an all right show. It's just nothing stepped out for what it normally has been of being exceptional.
I have very few notes written here, but one of the notes I was saying I put that I really liked the Daniel Bryan thing at the beginning with Edge. I thought that was great. I thought they both cut great promos, and Daniel Bryan addressing winding down his career. I thought that was it. That was nice.
You just got to stop bringing that up.
I know. And then my second note, which was a bit of a jump, is just Chad Gable is just so fucking good. Was the.
It's a shame they booked fucking shit poorly.
That was the only note I took during that match, just because I was sitting there going, God damn it, Chad Gable was just so goddamn good.
Yep, and Dominic Mysterio gets the beating.
There we go. Exactly. I mean, need us.
But I think most of this show was to lead up to hopefully doing a really good show next week.
Yes. So
ready to have Edge's in-ring return on SmackDown against the main event, Jey Uso.
First time in 11 years, Edge will have wrestled on SmackDown, and he's
yeah. I think people start to forget though. It was SmackDown was the place where he ended his career.
Yeah. But I'm very surprised at how much they're using Edge. I'm not complaining. I'm very surprised. I thought it would be, a Brock Lesnar deal. He'd come in every shows.
I think Edge wanted to come back for 3 years.
Yeah.
Problem was you sort of threw him in the deep end and put him in long matches, and his body just weren't quite there yet.
Yeah, you had to do stupid retakes which didn't need to be done. I'm really happy that he is sticking around, because we've had so many times in the last probably 5 or 6 years at Mania where people who are in WrestleMania matches aren't on goddamn shows leading up to Mania, right? Undertaker, prime example. Brock is a prime example. Cena has been in several where he's just come and gone here and there. And so I'm glad that we've actually got people like Batista. Batista was sort of there a little bit, leading up to his, but not really. But yeah, I'm glad we've actually got someone that's returned and actually coming to the damn shows every week. And yeah, so we both.
It's not true. He's not turning up every week. He wasn't there last week.
That's true, but most weeks. But we both sort of hinted at earlier about it becoming a triple threat at Mania. I can foresee that as well. I can foresee.
But I don't want the triple threat match.
I can foresee that at WrestleMania Night 1, Bryan is in a match to get into Roman and Edge at night 2.
But I don't want him. I don't want a triple threat match.
Neither do I. But I can foresee that that may be what they go for. Probably against Jay. Bryan versus Jay on Night 1.
But what happens if Jay wins? I mean, he gets to go.
Nothing.
Does he get to get
I assume just like normal.
How funny would it be that Jay Uso actually ends up in that match and then wins it and then runs away?
That'd be the weirdest WrestleMania ending ever. But
at least everyone will be talking about it.
I mean, true.
Because no offense, right now everyone's expecting Edge to walk away, so fucking put Jey Uso in it and let him win it, and then fucking go.
See, I also don't want Edge to walk away as champion. I don't know why, but I'm actually no, I do know why. I love this Roman Reigns character so much.
Well, yeah, but I can see them doing it, but I don't think Edge would have it for very long.
No, I think if they go the triple threat route, they're going to do it because they're going to be little bitches and they won't want Roman to take the pin, right? So if they go that triple threat route, I reckon it's just...
That's why Jey Uso is going to make it in there and he's going to fucking go into business for himself and win the match.
I mean, Jey Uso could figure his way in there and also eat the pin, but yeah, I think that the only reason this turned into a triple threat match is because Roman loses and they don't want him to lose. I hope we're wrong though. I hope that isn't what comes of it, because I want to see Edge and Roman have a fucking fight, because it's not going to be like a technical wrestling match. It's going to be like a fight. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
This week was good. I'm excited to see. I'm excited for where NXT goes on the way to TakeOver, especially the women's stuff, because they've sort of opened up a lot with the women now, and with.
Well, yeah, I think the only belts actually at the moment, actually just the North American and the men's tag team, they're the only ones that haven't really got any kind of story going into it.
Yeah. You sort of forget about North American title quite a bit at the moment, but.
You forget that Johnny's got it, if I'm honest, but he's doing great stuff on TV.
Yeah, because they're focusing on like the Austin Theory and him sort of thing rather than the belt. But yeah, it's doing well. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think that's good. When's what you call it? I keep on calling it Payback, Fastlane. I think that's
Payback was a great pay-per-view. That's what I took it away.
Yeah. Next Sunday is Fastlane, and we haven't got many matches for that, but you know, WWE's got.
Oh, don't worry.
A whole 7 days.
By Friday, they'll have like 10 matches.
It's probably true as well.
And no one will give a flying fuck about any of them.
I'll tell you something which they
What's the bet that the Miz is going to get another title shot at Fastlane?
I hope not. Did we not?
I love the way everyone shits on it, but he does good shit in the fucking ring.
He does, but also I dislike the lack of consistency, because we had like the McMahon stand there and say the rematch clause is done for, and they have actually enforced that for the last 3 years, where people haven't got automatic rematches, and now all of a sudden they're just done with that again, and now it's like, oh no, you get rematch. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for AEW as well to see where they go with the Inner Circle MJF stuff. I think that's going to be really interesting in the weeks to come.
Well, that's going to be the thing that's going to draw people in this week for AEW.
Yeah, that is the big draw. So that was This Week in Wrestling. If you are new here, please like and subscribe to us here on this channel. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. And we'll see you next time for another video. We are out.